My job essentially is to look at Oakville 30 years from now. What's that going to look like on the ground? Where are those people going to go?
Well, questions could come from anywhere. Questions on how many parks that we had. We could have questions on what's the tree cover that we have. What's the modal split that we have on our transit?
So it was a matter of manually going in, look at each application one by one, find out unit counts, which ones have been registered, which ones have been draft approved but not quite registered. Then you discover subdivision will have unit counts attached to it, whereas the zoning that goes with it has a similar unit count, but you can't just add everything up. You'd have to go and talk to the individual planners, get those numbers from them, start to compile them all.
We kept asking ourselves, are we gathering the data the same way every single time?
3 months down the road, the CAO says, hey, I need another update on what those numbers are. And you kind of got to start over again. I just really got tired of digging into the same data over and over again.
It could have taken us a month or two to get back to them. At that point, the moment's gone.
And that's why we created the Data Hub. It's a one-stop shop where you can find data and information.
My most favorite part of my job is solving problems. It's interesting because a lot of times I'll have different departments come to me saying, Frank, this isn't working, and that's exactly where I thrive. When people tell me that something can't be done, then I'm the type of person who will look into something and get it done. That's why I love what I do, seeing how data can transform these challenges into opportunities. Her and I were talking about creating a hub for 3 years, but we were just needing senior management to say, do it now, go ahead and build it.
The province came out with a Building Faster Fund, and it relied on data from CMHC in terms of the housing starts. The CMHC data was saying to us that we were meeting less than 80% of the target that the province had given us. And with that, we didn't qualify for any funding at all. Our data told us that we were making over the 80%, so we were eligible for funding.
Defining our key metrics was really important because we knew that we would have to defend the numbers. Because if we're comparing our numbers to, say, CMAC, you need to be able to compare apples to apples.
I thought it was a great idea. One, because selfishly I could see that it would alleviate having to redo all these manual type of exercises. But I think another big benefit that I saw was that we could eliminate a lot of the inconsistencies that started to show up. We had to assume that once a building permit is pulled, say 6 months later, that house is built and occupied and counts as population moving forward.
So initially we started with the planning hub, that was the scope. Selling point there was we can save you time and we can develop an ongoing process that you can trust. I really just wanted to see what Jane's comfort level was with the data. And I really said by putting it online and publishing it, we'll get more eyes on it and that will make it better.
Now that staff actually saw the data put into a dashboard, they weren't just typing it into the system, they would then see the value in it. And over time, we actually saw the quality of the data increase. The impact went beyond just better data.
Having good quality data to be able to make our case for that funding is absolutely essential. There's lots of competition for the funding, and so the importance of having good data is critical to our applications.
I think it started as, hey, let's just create a hub internally. Very quickly, it broadened into, hey, no, we need to make this public because there's big benefits beyond just planning data.
Our corporate strategy department had made a commitment to develop a dashboard for the council strategic dashboard. One of their staff had called to say, is there anything you can do to help us? And we said, oh, well, we're actually creating this planning hub. Just kind of join our project. And that's from there we expanded the concept to a larger data hub.
One moment that actually really stands out for me was a time when the housing data was shown at a presentation. When the person sitting beside me said, where did that data come from? I didn't know that was what we had, and they were challenging it. And so I was able to pull out the phone, pull up our website and say, here is the information right here. This is what we have in terms of data. This is what CMHC has. It was a really rewarding experience to be able to do that instantaneously.
Definitely freed me up to focus on other work, but it's also made me have more confidence when I do get a request to be able to say, actually, we've got that available right now. You can go look at it right here. The response coming back is, oh, wow, this is great.
In the Building Faster Fund, how the Planning Hub worked to our advantage was that we had accurate information that was defensible. We knew how it was generated so that we could demonstrate that we had everything at our hands with the Data Hub in place.
We're very clear on what our methodology is versus how their methodology is measuring us to say our numbers are this, and they are different from the CMHC number because of this. We wouldn't have been able to advocate for ourselves to get this $7 million funding if it wasn't for the Data Hub work.
Because now with that $7 million, there's other projects that can actually happen now at the Town of Oakville.
I take a little bit of pride when I go through Oakville, whether I'm by myself or with my family, and I see, say, a building that's been built, and it's like, oh, okay, I was part of the processing of that approval, right? Because really, the work that I'm doing now will have a lot of impact on them and even their kids potentially in the future.
Our decisions are much more data-based. It gives us the information in order to inform what direction we should be going, and so we can make very good, accurate decisions in terms of moving forward.
To me, I'll say it was a very proud moment. It really helps show people the power of data and using data for proper decision making and how the data can have a huge impact in your community.
Bronte Market Square, right on our main street. It's gray concrete. It's quite a big space. It didn't have a lot of color, a lot of scale. If we're able to activate it properly and create a place for people to enjoy, then it only enhances the economic opportunities for our businesses. So it really did feel like a space that was ripe for potential. And this is really where the Oakville Data Hub came in because it helped us be successful with our application. So that was incredibly useful to us to make sure that we were planning a project that would represent who we are and where we're going. I had started to give up hope because we were past the deadline, and I had gotten home from work, was standing in my kitchen, and the email came through that we had been successful for the full funding amount requested of $73,000. And so immediately I ran downstairs. My husband was in the middle of a call online, and he dropped everything he was doing to give me a big hug because he knew what this meant for us as an organization at the BIA. And all of a sudden, people are creating happy memories in a space that they just didn't understand before. At our farmers market this summer, resoundingly, people would spend all 4 hours there just meeting friends and neighbors, shopping for local products, listening to music. To see this space transform from empty concrete into the heart of our community, that's something truly special.
It just goes back to that quote is take the first step. You don't need to see the whole staircase. Sometimes the problems are so big that if we don't take that first step, nothing will ever change.
What we've accomplished in Oakville is just the beginning.
If every municipality could start to do this, right? And then we can maybe start to get a standardized ways of reporting out. And imagine a province-wide data exchange where we can all share data and learn from each other as we plan our communities.
We're doing things now that no one would have ever dreamt about 20 years ago. And living in the area, it's nice to see what you're doing actually impacting where you live. We've transformed from paper maps to living data that shapes our community's future. And seeing that impact every day, that makes me proud.